Lakehurst, May 6, 1937. A date engraved in collective memory as it was the day the Hindenburg disaster took place, effectively ending commercial, transatlantic, lighter-than-air aviation. One of those burned alive was someone who had been central in an event taking place 2 decades earlier which has been lost in oblivion. Even the Times of London omitted to mention it in his 1937 obituary after he succumbed to his severe burns incurred during the Hindenburg crash. In August 1914, Captain Ernst Lehmann had been the commander of the airship which executed the first strategic air raid in history, taking place over the city of Antwerp, at the time the most fortified city in the world with elaborate defenses consisting of a triple ring of fortresses all around. One of many costly, ill-conceived projects of King Leopold II being already outdated well before it was put to the test for the first time in 1914, weapons technology having had advanced to such an extent as to render brick fortresses an empty measure, merely offering a false sense of security. The entirety of Belgian officialdom, all members of Parliament and the Senate, all ministers, the royal family, together with the remainder of the Belgian army, was entrenched there in the firm belief the citadel was unassailable. Prior to World War I, Germany had been the sole country operating scheduled passenger services by means of airships. One of these civilian airships, called the Sachsen, was converted at the outbreak of the war to perform this military premiere. It was promptly fitted with targeting optics and 10 incendiary bombs, made to the specifications of Commander Lehmann, depleted of all metallic components for the purpose of weight reduction, this being a perpetual preoccupation for lighter-than-air aircraft. 10 meticulously selected strategic targets were bombed in the night from the 25th to the 26th of August 1914, the main ones being the Antwerp Royal Palace and the main street where the chief in command of the Belgian forces, King Albert, and his wife and children were residing at the time. King Albert had been visiting the German Kaiser in Germany only months before but was singled out as the prime target of this first strategic bombing raid from the sky. The crude incendiary devices didn't do what they were meant to. They almost all missed their intended target. Another intended target was the renowned luxury hotel at Green Square, St. Antoine, where many prominent establishment figures were staying at that pivotal moment in the conflict, including Winston Churchill, who as Navy Minister, against strong advice to the contrary, had insisted on accompanying the British Marines he dispatched to Antwerp to assist in the defense of the citadel of last hope for the ominous fortunes of the besieged kingdom, awkwardly positioned in between the belligerent continental empires. When the city surrendered, unexpectedly rapidly, after only a few shots had been fired by the giant German 420mm artillery, he was almost taken hostage early on in the war, having a narrow escape by way of the river. He was only to arrive there several weeks after the St. Antoine had been targeted in the first air raid. The bomb missed, but a nearby hotel situated at the present-day location of the Antwerp Hard Rock Café took a full hit and burned to the ground. The first aerial attack in history didn't achieve its strategic objective. It didn't shorten the war by 1 day, which was to continue for 4 more years, resulting in millions of additional casualties. Part of the Belgian forces managed to reach their ultimate defensive position behind the River Isère in the utmost western corner of Belgium by boarding the last trains leaving for Ghent. Ernst Lehmann couldn't obtain permission from German High Command to disable the train track leading to Ghent by aerial bombardment, which would have preempted the evacuation of the remaining Belgian army and led to its inevitable capitulation because of rivalries between the various German army divisions, all wanting the honor for themselves. In spite of being instrumental in the first air attack in history, specifically targeting civilians, he became a fated figure after World War I, held in high regard as the most skillful airship commander. The first strategic air raid was only one of several military firsts which occurred on the territory of the Kingdom of Belgium, which aren't treated in this particular historic account for reasons of brevity, the reader being referred to subsequent installments of forgotten history to appear later. Renards Conrad.